What's up, guys? I just landed in Charlotte, North Carolina, and as you know, I'm here for workshops and shoots as usual every single week in a different city for my clients. But today I want to actually show you some behind the scenes. These behind the scenes are from a restaurant shoot I had in San Antonio, Texas, from a luxury steakhouse. And I want to show you how I'm using my Nikon Z7 II and my most coveted lens, the 24-70 2.8S, to create shots and move through scenes and concepts very, very quickly. I'm going to show you some GoPro footage that was just strapped to my chest. You'll cycle in and out through all the different scenes, but I'm going to pause on all the individual shots that I think you should check out. Take a look at things related to depth. Take a look at things related to focal length. All these things are so important, and being able to have a half-day shoot and be able to not have to change your lens but just cycle through all the individual concepts with the same lens on the same camera is massive. By the way, this is the Nikon Z7 II and the 24-70 2.8. Love this guy. Being able to have the 24-70 2.8 and zoom in and out of what I want to actually shoot to tell my stories and to create my scenes is massive. Let's get to the BTS. Check it out and let me know what you think. Hold on, guys, let's rewind the track a little bit and look back at these three shots. Now, all three of these shots were shot at 70mm. I'm shooting with a 24-70 2.8S on my Nikon Z7 II, and I've been using a 24-70 2.8 ever since 2015. Now, since upgrading to the Z mirrorless camera system through Nikon, I've obviously upgraded as well my 24-70 2.8 to start to match up with something that's more, well, closer to this decade. So here we're shooting a 2.8, the most wide open on the lens. And you can see here, there's a lot of depth. And if you've ever been to this restaurant, you know what that logo is in the back there. You've seen these shapes before and you know what the bar is like. Now let's switch over to these two shots right here. Both shot within the same 2-minute time frame. I'm zooming in and out between 57mm and 70mm here. And one thing that I just want to point out is these suckers are sharp. One of the big complaints I get, or one of the things I hear a lot from people who don't shoot with a zoom often, is it's not as sharp as their primes. And honestly, I've never experienced any issue with sharpness on my zoom lenses. And here you can see, even with this shot pushed into a 1080p video and with motion that Premiere is creating, these guys are sharp. So 57mm and 70mm were used here just based on either showing more of the scene. In the 57mm shot, I was trying to bring more of that wine glass up front, which was the opposite side of the table, really quickly and easily. I didn't have to move anywhere. I just opened up the lens and the focal length, and I was able to see the wine glass, and then push into 70mm for more of that natural portrait kind of shot where I didn't need anything else in the composition. And another really cool thing about this shot too is I still have separation from the background, but I'm still able to see that wall texture in the background, and that's very important for this restaurant because it's part of the facade that people recognize when they walk into this place. Now here's a really great example of using the same space, two different focal lengths on this zoom lens, the 70mm, which is the most I can zoom on this lens, and then almost 24mm here on the far end. Now, this left side at 30mm, that was for a full body shot in this wine locker space here in this restaurant. The 70mm was a tighter shot to try to do more of that portrait style shot, which still had the wine glass in the composition. So here's the thing. She's walking through this scene. We are getting yelled at to have to go to our next position here in the restaurant because remember, this is a half-day shoot where we are moving through a full shot list quickly. I have my one lens, my 24-70 2.8 on my Nikon Z7 II. That sucker is an eye autofocus, and I am getting my shots. My assistant is moving the light as we're walking through this, and I'm zooming in and out to get as many different types of looks with this same dress, same wine, same girl, but on different focal lengths to help my client then have enough to select from the different usages they'll have for these assets. So this is very important and another great shot to kind of look at to understand why a 24-70 is very important. I'm not carrying two cameras around, that's unnecessary. We have the zoom here at 70mm, there's plenty of depth behind her. At 30mm, we're back to what you would expect from a wide angle shot as far as depth and distortion, and everything is moving smoothly on this day when the shot lists are lengthy and we have to be quick with everything we're doing. Okay, now these three shots are very important. So as you see on the left here, I have a 68mm shot where I'm focused very tight in on her hand, and the goal is to capture the food in her hand while still showing a feminine, beautiful figure in the background enjoying the food. Now we accomplished that mission there, but that's never going to allow us at 68mm or 70mm to capture the full scene. And in this full scene, we actually have two individuals enjoying the charcuterie board. So I need to be able to zoom out very quickly while still directing the individuals with smiles, laughter, where the wine glasses should be in frame, what they should probably be picking from, keeping their hands in a certain position, whether they should be looking towards the camera or towards each other. Each of these things is really important as I'm directing and zooming out and in to capture more of the scene. In the middle shot, I'm trying to capture both hands in the scene, but I'm also still trying to show who is in the scene, right? So I'm focused down on the charcuterie board with hands in motion, picking and pulling from the board, while still showing the figures in the background. In the photo on the right, I'm zooming out even more, almost a 35mm, and in this shot you can't see it because I've cropped down into a thirds view for you in this frame, but what I'm actually doing is I'm zooming out in a landscape shot and capturing both individuals laughing and enjoying each other's company in the shot. So if I was at 70mm, I wouldn't be able to make this happen. I would have to have backed up through the wall that was behind me, and obviously that's not possible because I'm not a ghost. So what I can actually do is just zoom out, capture both of them in action, and direct them both to be acting while still having great depth in the background and having them be the primary focus. Again, the 24-70 comes in so handy for situations like this where we are moving quick. All right, y'all, hopefully this helped give you a little bit more insight on why I love my Nikon Z7 II, why I'm using a 24-70 2.8 for many of the professional shoots that I am booked for. And if you have any questions, as always, feel free to reach out. Talk to y'all soon.